Okay, so you see the question paper in front of you. Okay. So now what I'm going to retrieve, they say this document has already been keyed into your diskette drive as question 4A. You must retrieve this and edit the document according to the instructions below and as indicated. Now, darlings, please remember what I've told you. You're going to get question 4B, and then you're also going to get what's going to look like this. We call this the manuscript template. Okay? You need to work with those two together. You need to get yourself a highlighter, and when you've done something here, you must tick it off, because you will see this is asked of you at 4.3, but in the manuscript, there's nothing like that. So do you understand that you need to almost answer 2 question papers on the same question? So please take in a highlighter or a red pen with you tomorrow night and literally go and tick off that you've done this. Okay, are you with me? So I'm going to do it on my side as well. Okay? Sorry, ma'am. Yes. You know those manuscripts, the symbols we use? Yes. Do you have something copy that you can just send us again? Yes, I do. Okay, I will send that digitally, but I will also go through it with you. Okay? Okay, cool. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Yes, of course. Okay, that's a good question. It's totally up to you. However, I would start off with the 4.1.2 and then kind of go through it, and then let's say do everything on there and then go to the manuscript. But that's why sometimes you will go back. That's why you're ticking this. I start off with this question. And then when they say, yeah, like for instance, number the lines, then you start doing. So it's kind of a difficult question to answer, because you're kind of gonna go left and right in between the two. That's why I want you to tick these off. I don't know if that answers your question. Okay, just one more thing while you are actually asking that. Darlings, please take note that you can start off with anything that you like to. You don't have to start off with the theory. You don't have to start off with the print screens. You can start off with Excel or Word. Okay? I know some lecturers encourage their students to start off with the thing that they feel more comfortable with. Because, for instance, Excel goes a lot quicker than Word, but you must also look at the mark allocation. But it's completely up to you. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do everything. Okay? But time is of the essence, and unfortunately, that is a thing that does make a big difference for the people. Okay, so just take that into account when you're answering. Sometimes in the question paper, and I'm sorry for interrupting myself now, I just want to show you, they don't do it here, but sometimes on the question paper, they will tell you here in brackets, you have 15 minutes to complete this. But you must kind of pace yourself. Pace yourself. If you're struggling to find a bullet that must look like Spider-Man, don't spend 10 minutes on something that's going to only count 1 mark. Do you catch my drift? Okay, I'm going to switch over to this. I've got the question paper in front of me open, so I'm not going to sit in between all the time. Okay? So, if you can just quickly then tell me, or are you all looking at my Word now? You are opening on the question 4A. Okay. Yes, 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 of course I will. Of course I will. I will. You are asking for the digital files. Yes, that's fine. I just think it is good that I explain it to you once and then you go back this afternoon. That was my whole idea, to have this class with you, explain everything. You go back, you know what you're struggling with. And then tonight, if there's anything, that it's going to be an open class. So anybody can log in and ask a question and log off again. I'm going to be available for an hour and a half. So you can log in, you're going to ask your question, you're going to pop off. I'm come in again. I'm going to be here for an hour and a half. My computer is going to be on. So it's going to be like an open source, open class question, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start off. 4.3 says change the question 4 in the header to question 4b. So it's already typed in there. So I must change that to B. And it also must, why is it looking so funny now? I just want to make sure that everything is in Courier New. Yeah, I don't know why it's looking funny like that now. Okay, anyway, nevertheless, question 4b, left align. But this is right align. Can you see? So, why is this must be left aligned? I don't know what's happening. So we must put on our paragraph marker and we must take it back. Okay, that is what I want you to do. Then they want you to insert your examiner number centered. Now remember there's 3. Can you see when I've typed in? I can't change this now. If there's already something there, I can't move my other text to go say I want to type something in the middle. I have to use my tab key now. Okay, you all familiar with tab on your keyboard? And then you will type in your exam number. Please don't make the mistake as my students and you're going to type now there the words. You must type in your number 134500. Okay? That must be centered. Okay. So ensure that you use the same font and size as the rest of the document. Now the rest of the document, if we can just look at it, is Courier New. And it is 12, and this must also be Courier New 12, which it is. So I'm comfortable with that. So if I can go back to this, I told myself now I've done that, and I'm ensuring that it is correct. Okay, now change the left and the right hand margin to the document like that. So I'm going back to my document. Okay, you can still see me when I switch around in between, eh? Okay. Now, where do I find margins? Margins is under my page layout ribbon. Okay. I will go to margins and they say it must be 2.5 left and 2.5 right. Now, there is one that's already set as the default, so I can choose the normal. But let's say there was values that's funny, that was 3.12, so it's not on there. You must choose custom margins, and you must type in the margins that they give you. Okay, can you see now? The left and the right is not correctly done now because I've chosen the custom ones. Okay, but there is one that's default. But just to show you, you can go in and type 2.54. You don't have to type in the centimeters because it's already calibrated. Okay, and sometimes some of you works in your numslock and then it doesn't want to give you any option. Make sure your numslock pad is switched on. For that little numbers to work at the right side, it must be switched on. It's like a light. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so I say, okay, can you see my margins has changed? Okay, so I'm going back to my question paper and say, this is done. Insert the following footnote where indicated in the text with the format 10, the point at which you can accomplish any more repetitions of an exercise. Okay. So they want you to go back to your question paper and it says insert the following footnote. So you're going to go into insert and you are going to insert a footnote. I always struggle finding the flippin' footnote because I never use the footnote, but I know it's under insert. Sorry. You see, I also struggle to find the end note of the document because it's 2060 now. Okay. Hello? Reference passing. Okay, okay, yeah, sorry. The footnote can be found in the reference bar. Thank you for that. And then when they say they say here, insert the following footnote where indicated in the text with the format 1. Okay? Then No, it's a oppie dummy. Okay, insert the footnote here. Okay, you will see if you go to the question paper, you will see that it says there, insert it there. So it's under the strength paragraph. So you go down, can you see there in your manuscript, it says there, insert the footnote here. So you will highlight the last word, which is failure. You will go to the referencing and you will say insert the footnote with that format. Okay, they say format 1 or format I. Yes, and then then it will be there, and then you will type in your the point at which you can accomplish any more what. I'm not going to type everything in now, but that is where you need to type in the point at and then etc. Okay? And then the format 1. Where do I change that? I go into the footnote settings. I click on that and I say I want the format to be, and I click 1. It must start at 1. That is what the format 1 means on your question paper. Okay, and then you just say insert. Okay, so let me just quickly show you on the question paper. It says there, insert the end note. Oh, sorry, that was the footnote. Insert the point of the foot. There's a difference between footnote and end note. I will explain to you now. So we've done the footnote and we've done the format and we've typed in that. So let me just quickly show you again. So thank you for reminding me again. It's under the referencing, and you will say insert the footnote. Once you have inserted the footnote and you've entered that into where you were supposed to put it in, you will then change your formatting options to start at 1. Okay, so that's fine. You will say insert. Just quickly, let me show you where they are talking about. So can you see here the question that you've asked? You've done this now, so make a little tick, but it was already asked of you there. But now you need to use your manuscript sign to make sure that it is correctly done where you should do it. Do you understand how 4.5 then correlates with the manuscript signs? Are you with me? Okay, I'm going to 4.6. Number the lines in the paragraph starting with because of wrestler, starting at 55. Okay, so you need to go now and use your manuscript sign, or actually your manuscript, to make sure they want it to start at the number lines in the paragraph starting with because of. Okay, so I'm looking for that now. Because of, yeah, the line numbering must start there. Okay, so I'm going back to my word option, and then they ask me to let it start at 55. Okay, so right now, sorry, I just quickly want to see that it's correctly done. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it is because it is. Okay, so you will highlight all of that. You will start off by just choosing the first one because that is where it needs to start. You put your cursor there. And then you go to page layout. And you say breaks, continuous, and then you need to start your numbering at 55. And then you will go to the end of that paragraph and you will say continuous. So can you see you almost make a little cage for that paragraph? Are you with me? Okay. So then you click on the paragraph and you will go to line numbers. Do you see it's on the page layout ribbon, and you will say restart each question. Sorry, section. And you will say starting at 55. So you will go to line numbers and you will say line numbering options. and you will say line numbers. You will click there and you will say, please start at 55. And you will say, okay, because you've already must now put that into a line. So can you see when they are talking about line numbers, it is very important. I've just entered the space there. Remember to use your paragraph marker, né? You know where to put that on under the home ribbon so that you can see where your spaces are. So are you comfortable with this line numberings, darlings? Just go and have a look at it again on the recording if you're unsure. Okay, I'm moving over to this page now just to tick off what I've done. So I have done my number lines, and I've done that, and on my manuscript signs I've also done that. So can you see how I'm doing my question paper? That is what I want you to do as well. Get yourself a nice little pink or red or whatever pencil to do that. Insert page numbers at the bottom center of all the pages, starting with 5, and use the format page 5. Okay, so they want all the pages to have page numbers, but they want it to start at 5 and it must be at the bottom. Okay, so you're going to say insert a footer because it's going to be in the footer. You can choose that one, and then just make sure you delete all of that because you're not going to use those two, but you want it to be in the middle. Okay, then you are going to go into page numbers because you're on your design. Let's say you've clicked somewhere now. You are looking for page numbers and it's nowhere to be found. Remember, you first need to click in your footer to make sure there's a little design one. Make sure you're in the correct position of center, and then you will go into page numbers. They ask you for the bottom of the page and the current position. Sorry, if I've already put in the current position for so choose current position, and I want it to say page 5. So go down and look for that specific format that they are giving you. Okay, this one doesn't have a line in. It doesn't have a line in between. It just says page 5, but maybe we can take that line out. Okay, I'm going to take that line out. It must look like that. Okay, I don't think my computer has all the settings, but they won't ask you a format that's not on there. Okay, but then that is not done. You must start off with formatting the page numbers. It must start at 5. So you'll go there and you will say format page numbers, and you must say start at, remember they have asked you to start it at 5. Are you with me? And then Bob's your uncle. Okay, are you with me, darlings? Let's say they said they don't want the page number to display on the first page. Then you will click that one. Can you see it's not on my first page? However, it is starting and carrying over to page 6 on my second page. Yes, is there a question? Now it's a practical. Yes. When I did this, yes. My last two numbers, I think it was 10 and 11. Yes. So both studied as 10. Both was 10. Was both 10? Yes. Okay. Like it was like 1, 2, 3, and okay. Another 3 again. Okay, did you by any means type in pages? So you didn't say insert, you maybe put in a number 3 there with your finger. Okay. Did you work with columns maybe and you put in a column break? Okay, that can make actually a difference. I've seen it with my students as well. When you've worked with a column, then it says the computer sees it as a different section. It doesn't always do that. That is why page numberings are a little bit confusing. You must work with it on and off and practice, because there's so many things that can go incorrect. You're more than welcome, and afterwards then we can have a session on that. Okay, if you want to ask me. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Hopefully you don't get one that's too bad. Okay, so let's carry over to 4.8. So let's just quickly do 4.7. Can you see what I'm doing? I insert the page numbers. It starts at 5 and the format looks like that. Now 4.8 is asking me to insert the end note. And in bold, where indicated in the text with the format I, the text for the end note is that. So let's go and quickly look where is the end note. I assume it is at the top, at the end. Insert the end note. Can you see there? You must use your manuscript style or the template that's given together with the instructions there. Okay, so I will go down to well, okay, you see now. I'm actually glad this happened because this answers your question. It says there you must insert the index, but can you see we have not inserted that table yet? So I would then advise you, can you see how you need to work together with the manuscript signs and this? Can you see? Because now we need to actually pause here, but we haven't done those. So don't mark any of that. Can you see, darlings? We still need to edit that. So it's fine when you get there and you say, well, Gona, but I haven't done it. Okay, so now I'm kind of just pausing here. Okay? But now that's why it's so important to tick it off so that you don't forget about this. Are you with me? Okay, so now let's go back to formatting your question. Okay, so for the first one, you need to do this. I'm not going to flip around because you have the question paper in front of you. They say getting your body fit and wrestling must be UC, look there, UC, bold and centered. UC means uppercase, bold and center. Okay, so let's quickly go and do that. Uppercase, bold and center. Now, can you see it? It doesn't say underlined there. I think the reason why it's underlined in your manuscript sign is just to show you what you need to do. Okay, so there's the uppercase one. While we are at this, remember in Excel, we don't have this option of changing uppercase to lowercase. You must put on your caps lock when you're in Excel. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so it's centered, it's bold, and that is that. Then let's go back to our manuscript signs. The next one, I'm going down, there's nothing there. The next one there says insert bullets and indent at 1.27 centimeters. Okay, so they want a bullet to be there. Now, can you see that is why these paragraph markers is so important because now Word can see this is two separate paragraphs. So you will just put one bullet there and the other one there. Okay? They don't specify a specific bullet. So I'll just choose, they don't say anything. So I just say the dot. And then remember then just to make sure that you need to make your indentation. They want your indentation there to be 1.27. Okay? And you say, okay, and that is what they want. Okay? And then they are also saying that the bullets indented and 10 point after. Okay. So you must make sure that the spacing there is going to be 10 points. Okay? So that is, can you see where I did my settings? Waar is my stempunte? No. Voor. Okay. Okay. So can you see where I've changed my bullets and numbering? Okay, you can also do it there by the page layout when your left indentation is that, and then your point after must be, or your point must be 10 points. They don't specify after or before. That's actually very irritating. I suppose it is after, so you can just put in. So that's the shortcut. The other way is also correct. It's just another, can you see there's many ways to kill a cat. So you can either do it like I've shown you, like going in there. Can you see this is now in a different one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that is where you go and change that. So if we go back to this, I want you to click what you have done. Are you with me, darlings? Now, endurance says you must uppercase it. You see bold and underline. Okay, so let's quickly do that. We're going to go to endurance. We're going to make it uppercase. Where do I find that? Under my home ribbon, I say uppercase. It must be bold and it must be underlined. Okay? Then I go back to my manuscript signs. It says these two columns with a vertical line and justify the column. So they want this to be column 1 and the second one to be column 2. Can you see I also need to do those 3 as well? So I go back. I go make sure that it's bold, it's underlined, and it's uppercase. Okay, now you have to mark both of them. Okay. Let me just quickly see if the end node is in the column. Yeah, it is actually. Okay, that's fine. Let's just quickly, so it actually goes over to before flexibility to the point of, okay. So this is your 2 columns. Okay, so where do I find my columns? I go to the page layout ribbon at the top. I say I want 2 columns. Okay, but now this is where you need to make sure. They obviously want this to not be on this side. They want both paragraphs to be next to one another. So you need to put in a little scissors here that's going to cut it and throw it over to the right-hand side. I'm working in a column. So do you understand? I need then to put a column break in there. Can you see I've put my cursor right in front of that? Are you comfortable with that? Okay. Now, when you need to put in that line, you will go to more columns and you will choose the line in between. That is what they are asking you there. If you can just quickly go to your manuscript, it says there the column must be 2 columns, a vertical line must be, but look, there's a third one, justify. Can you see how it helps to tick everything off? Because that is not justified, that is left aligned. Okay, my eyes are practiced already, so I can see it's left aligned. That is justification. Can you see the difference quickly? Look at my lights. It's very neatly done now. Almost like when you're typing in a newspaper. But when I type that again, it's not so neat. Can you see the difference? So that manuscript sign there saying justify means exactly what I've done. That is the type of alignment you need to choose. Are you comfortable with that? Okay, I'm carrying over. Can you see now I've already ticked this. So I know I've done this. Then I must make sure that I've put in a page break. Let's see that I put in a page break. Okay, you can just put in your page break after your end note. And you can say insert, page break, or you can go to layout and choose breaks and page. So there's 2. But the column is not found there under insert. You must choose the column break here by breaks, by the page layout. Okay, so if you're unsure if your page break has appeared, then you must just make sure that, oh, Gona, I'm actually glad this happened now. Can you see what happened? You must make sure that it's actually after that. After this, because your columns is not fitting in. This is actually part of the column, so it must be there. Can you see? They are actually nasty to do it like that because they want this actually to be a part of that. But anyway. No, it's not. It's not supposed to be corrected because if you remember correctly, you've put in a end note there. Okay, the end note must be there. So that's not. It's not. It's not wrong. It's fine. Because look here, you will get the mark for the 2 columns. You will get the mark for the column break. You will get the mark for the line. And you will get the mark for the break. So even if it doesn't look exactly the same, you won't lose any marks. Do you understand? Okay. Can I carry on? Okay. So when you get... Okay, yes, I know. Brenda, Telmine, Sandra, Annalise. There's lots of them. Some of them... Okay, some of them lads have stopped listening to me. Okay. Sham, are you okay? Are you learning something or am I boring you? Okay, so I can carry on. Okay, so let's quickly look at flexibility. Flexibility is also needs to be uppercase, bold, italics. So I need to go that. I need to go and do flexibility, bold, and up, not your underline and italics. Okay, I'm not going to do all of that because I think you're quite good with that. You fine with that, but just remember to tick that off so that you know that you've done that. Okay, now let's go to the next one here. Insert bullets and indent at 1.27. So we need to quickly go and locate the flexibility. I just want to make sure about this. Okay. So the manuscript sign that we have here, it says insert and that NL there. That's also a manuscript. That means new line. So it means that all of that must be in their own line. Okay? So if you go down to the flexibility part, which is there, then they want the lungs. Oh, where's the lungs now? Include lungs. So that must be in a bullet. And then the next one, which is walking toe touches, must be a new bullet. And then high knees must be the next one. Lateral jogging must be the next one. And then karaoke jogging. Goodness, that sounds like karaoke. Anyway, karaoke jogging must be the next one and must still be in that line and R must be in the next line. Can you see? And then I'm actually glad this is on the paragraph marker because I haven't explained this to you. So that NL means a new line. Darlings, can you see after that? Can you see that little thing there? It's everywhere, okay? That is the first one I see, but I know there is another one. So it means it must be in their own little line, okay? So actually what we have to do here is we have to make this in a new line as well. Okay? So if I can just quickly get your attention on that. When that is there, it means I did explain it to you in another class, but I want you to understand this because sometimes people explain it incorrectly. Okay? When I have that manuscript sign that looks like this, I'm going to draw it to you very big now so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay? When you have this manuscript sign, which is basically telling you where the paragraph marker should be, it's important to understand this. Each space, in other words, I'm going to do it like this for you. I'm going to show you this. This space here, okay? This space, I'm somehow going to make it very green. Or actually, I must make it red. That is equal to one sign like that. Okay? So, in other words, if I put in lines like that, do you understand what I'm trying to say? The lines is not the spaces. The spaces is the spaces. So, when you have another line like this, there on top, then that means you're going to have two of these. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes the students get confused. They count the lines. You shouldn't count the lines, you should count the spaces. So can you see, here's 2 spaces. If I take that out, you can see it clearly. There's only 2 spaces there. So the space represents a paragraph marker, not the line. So sometimes when you get to this point, you think there should be 2 enters. Can you see for this one, there should be only 1 enter. You will lose marks. So please put on that irritating thing that we call the paragraph marker. It won't print, but at least you won't lose your marks there. Are you with me, darlings? Okay. So so can you see there's no space in between that. But if you look at my document here, there's a space there and there should be another space there. It was indicated. Okay, but let's go back to putting in your bullets. Can all of you just make sure that your audio is off? Thank you. I know I'm asking you questions and therefore it's kind of so there must be another space. You will see that space is in between the arms. So that must have a bullet. It doesn't say which bullets, but let's say your examiner was very creative and they want it to look like something that's exercising. Can you see there's nothing there? It's a very boring bullet. If it's a funny bullet like a spider web or a cat or a train, or you will go to define new bullet. I'm just showing you this, ne? And you will go to symbol. And normally the funny things is under webdings, not wendings, webdings, that one. And I'm going to see if I can get a fitness thing here somewhere. Not going to struggle a lot. Maybe there's a weight that they're picking up. But do you see? I'm someone going to use the bike. So can you see what I'm doing here, darlings? So if there's they like asking you this. Do you see where you go to find it? Okay. So I am done with this now. I'm done with the new line. I've inserted in my bullets, but I didn't do the 1.2. Can you see why this is so important? Because while I am ticking, I can see I actually didn't do that one. So I have to go back and I have to make sure that the indentation is at 1.2. Okay, so you can either do it there or you can go to page layout and make sure that it's there at 1.27. And Bob's your uncle under page layout. Okay. So now I go back to my manuscript sign. I say I did do the indentation. I'm happy with that. I also did that. I did that. And I did that. Okay, so I'm carrying over to question B. Now again, I'm not going to do those 3 because we've done that already. I think you're quite fine. Let's quickly look at indent left and right hand margin at 3. So can you see just this paragraph, but it includes your nutrition heading, must be indented at 3 centimeters. Okay, so let's quickly do that. I'm going to go over to my document in Word and I'm going to make sure that I find that one. It's all of that highlighted. It must be left aligned 3 centimeters and right aligned centimeters. Now you can do it there where I've showed you on the page layout, or you can go onto paragraph and you can change it there. It's the same setting. That's why it's already 3. Okay, and you can say okay. And I also want it to be justified. Okay, so what is justification? You will go to home and you will change the alignment. Okay, darlings, just quickly look here. So I've done the left and the right at 3. Can you see they give you there a funny 18 sub what? That 18 means inches. It's just there, that 1.1, to confuse you. You literally can somewhere draw a stripe through that because we don't work in inches. We're not Americans. We work in centimeters. I actually don't know why they do that. So you're going to see that with everything. You're going to see it with your tab stops. You're going to see it. They always give you the inches as well. There they also gave it. Don't work with that. Your computer is calibrated in centimeters. That's why when you put those values in, you don't even have to put in the centimeter unit because it's already calibrated. Okay. So that is done. I've done everything. Now we get to hydration. They say we must delete that whole one. So I go back to hydration and I mark the whole thing and I just press spacebar or delete. Okay. Make sure your paragraph markers is not in a funny place. So I've done that, but I want a page break in front of concussion. So I have to go back now and make sure that there is a page break. So I say insert, I can put it right in front of concussion and say break, and I want a page break, and there it goes. Okay, the reason I've put it there by concussion and not at the top is if you put it on top, then there's going to be another line there. Okay, so there's the page break. So I can mark my page break. I've done my page break. Then they want this to be 1.5 line spacing. LS stands for line spacing and center. So let's quickly do that. So I'm at concussion.